What is up, everybody, to the nations worldwide? This is the Travel Couple Podcast, where we introduce you to couple travelers who offer their advice on how you can travel the world together while earning some money, living that digital nomad lifestyle. We are your hosts, Mike Pletz and
Natalie.
Tune in every Wednesday as we interview couples living a digital nomad lifestyle, traveling the world while earning an income. Get relationship advice about being on the road with your significant other, and listen how others are struggling and thriving in their personal and business lives, all while traveling the world. This is your one-stop podcast for travel, relationship, and business goals. This week, we have something special to share with you. Beginning in April, we are starting a Travel Couple Book Club. Every other week, we will be featuring a book that follows the themes of our podcast, which are travel, relationships, and business. If you want to follow along, go to our website, travelcouplepodcast.com, and join the list. In today's episode, we talk with travel bloggers from the States, Daisy and Nenad. They talk with us about taking their round-the-world trip, how travel continues to shape their relationship, and how they transitioned from working a 9-to-5 to traveling the world together. So without further ado, here's our interview with Daisy and Nenad. I just want to say, before you listen to this interview, there was a little bit of a delay in the sound, so just bear with us. It is an awesome interview. Today we are joined by before I get to your guys' names.
I know what you're going to ask.
How do I pronounce your name? Is it Nenad?
Okay, that's close. That's I know. I was like, wait a minute.
I was really close to getting to it, and then I had to ask.
You should throw this in at the end or something. It'd be hilarious. Anyway,
yeah.
So in proper Serbian, it's Nenad.
Nenad.
But, like Americanized Western, it's Nenad. Nenad is fine.
Nenad. Okay, got it. Yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah.
Nenad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Today we are joined by Daisy and Nenad of Working Wayfarers. They are a couple from the U.S. who began traveling in frequent but short trips that ultimately made them want to extend their travels, and finally they began their round-the-world trip in November 2015. You can catch their travels on their travel blog at workingwayfarers.com. Hello, Daisy and Nenad. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining me. So let us just get started by letting you guys tell a bit about yourselves and what you do.
Okay. That sounds good. So originally I am an engineer, and I did that for about 5 years. But then I decided, once I met my soulmate here, Daisy, that I would wanted to travel around the world a little bit. And so right now I am currently, and we're running our blog, and we have a couple clients and things. So that is kind of the plan, trying to do everything while we travel.
Similar story here too. I'm a publisher actually. So in addition to my other job online, we run our travel blog and traveling the world.
Awesome. And how did the two of you meet?
That's a funny story. It was through a mutual friend, a Polish girl. Mm-hmm. We had met her each with it was 5 years apart. I want to say a long time apart. And then one day we just all ended up at her house, and it was. We've
been kind of inseparable ever since.
Gotcha.
So. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And then have you guys been married?
We're not married yet. We've actually been engaged since December 2015.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
It seems like a really long time. But honestly, we're kind of traveling around and trying to pick that perfect destination for the wedding.
For sure. Yeah. Are you guys thinking of having a destination wedding?
It is looking like the most likely thing we will do. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. So after our introduction, we just like to talk a bit about travel with our guests. So I'm going to ask you guys a 2-word question. It's a very simple question, but with a complex answer for so many. Why travel?
Oh my gosh.
All right, you want to start?
Okay. So as as I was saying, I mean, we were both in this corporate kind of grind, just 9 to 5 every single day. In fact, at the time I was living in Orlando. Uh, Daisy was in Tampa, so we were about 2 hours away. So I would drive there one weekend and then 5 in the morning drive back and vice versa. So we were going back and forth all the time, seeing each other on the weekends. This went on for about a year and a half, and finally something had to give. And we realized, hey, wait a minute, we're still kind of young. We don't have kids yet.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Europe. Daisy was born in Europe.
Right.
So what the heck? Let's try to just spend as much time as we possibly can abroad, traveling the world, doing some of these bucket list items and things that are a bit more difficult when you have children, right? And also try to build a lifestyle that we're envisioning. So
it seems like with the regular 9 to 5, you spend so much time in the office, and life just kind of seems to pass by.
Right.
Team that you sort of weekends, and I think for both of us, we didn't want to live only for the weekends. We wanted to get out and experience the world. So, why travel?
Why not?
Yes, exactly. Very good, guys. Awesome. So where were you guys last? Where are you now? And where are you traveling to next?
We just came back from Europe. They're visiting family in Macedonia. We spent a couple weeks with them. It's winter, so it was really cold. We're from Florida, so we're really not used to anything cold. Yep. And this was our first proper winter, so we throw in a couple snowboarding trips there just to kind of break off. But we're currently in Palma de Mallorca in Spain. It's one of the islands off the coast, and we're going to be here for a bit longer, getting some work done, and then next up is
we're heading to Southeast Asia. It's our first time visiting that part of the world.
Nice.
So we're excited. It's the backpacker's rite of passage, and we can't wait to go check it out.
Yes.
Awesome. So, when you guys were in Eastern Europe, sorry, it cut out there. Where were you guys there?
Oh, sorry. We were in Serbia, Macedonia, and we spent a little bit of time in Bulgaria too.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. And what did you guys get up to while you were on that trip?
Well, besides visiting my family, eating a lot of food, drinking a lot of rakia, which is like a very strong brandy, and enjoying and snowboarding.
Oh, awesome.
We love to snowboard.
Yeah. Where did you go snowboarding?
We went to two places. There's a mountain right near where I'm born in eastern Serbia. It's called Stara Planina, and it was awesome. It was so just relaxed. They just built the lift a couple of years ago, so it's very chill. And we ended up going to another place called Bansko in Bulgaria.
Awesome.
Like a party place. It was a lot of fun.
But honestly, it's like a fifth of the cost of anything in the U.S. and Canada. So it was great.
Yeah, that's excellent. And then in Spain, what did you guys get up to when you were in Spain?
The Spain trip is, we're kind of here on business and travel. There's a potential company in the works and whatnot, but I mean...
There's a company here on the island that we're working with.
Okay.
So we'll be here for a few more weeks, kind of finishing up some work here with them, and also, using up the rest of Nenad's Schengen time here in Spain.
So
right.
The visa process is funny here.
Gotcha.
And then we will be escaping the cold.
Yes, finally.
Gaia. And then in Southeast Asia, where do you guys plan on going?
We are traveling on Emirates, so we're gonna sneak a little layover in Dubai on the way there, and
Beautiful.
then kind of follow the typical route. Thailand, of course, Cambodia, Laos. Going to try and get over into Myanmar as well.
Nice.
And Vietnam.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite the
Bali.
trip. Oh, yeah. And anything you guys are especially looking forward to on that trip?
Hey, Mike?
Sorry, did that cut out there?
It did.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're asking, what we're looking forward to, right?
Yeah, let me try that again here. Okay. Uh, Anything you guys are especially looking forward to on that Southeast Asia trip?
Everything. Well, okay, so all of the food, of course.
Yeah.
Getting completely out of our comfort zone and picking up a different culture. It's going to be like nothing either of us have ever experienced. And in Indonesia, we're looking forward to spending a lot of time on the beaches in Bali. Hopefully do a little surfing out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoying the sunshine. I mean, there's just so much to see there. We're going to kind of wing it.
Yeah.
But of course, we've got some bucket list as well.
Yeah, for sure. How long are you going to be on this trip for?
That's probably going to be between 2 to 3 or so months.
Gotcha. Nice. And then have you two ever been surfing before?
Yes, I lived in California for a while, so I learned how to surf when I was living out there.
Awesome.
And then also every now and then in Florida, we head over. We live on the west coast of Florida, so the waves are not good in the Gulf.
Gotcha.
So whenever we can, we head over to the east coast, the Cocoa Beach. But of course, it's Florida. There's nothing really going on out there.
Yeah. Nice.
So this should be an experience.
Yeah, this sounds like
wave.
Yeah,
Wave-wise.
wave-wise. Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds like sounds like an awesome trip you guys have planned there. So, traveling together, what has been your most rewarding experience together?
I think it was actually a trip we took recently. I ended up going with Daisy, of course, to Petra and Jordan in the Middle East. And I've always go there, and it was amazing. It was for my birthday. We were there walking through the canyon, looking up at the treasury and all that. But besides that, it was really seeing the people, though, because obviously, living in the U.S. and in Canada here. So, I mean, you hear a lot about the Middle East, and until you kind of go and experience it for yourself, you don't really know what to expect. So it was just seeing all the people. I mean, we spent a day in Cairo as just a layover, and that was very, very intense. Jordan was more relaxed. The people were so hospitable everywhere. It was
so
great.
Welcoming. It was just so happy to have us there visiting. It was just such a rewarding experience seeing the locals and realizing that maybe the world isn't such a crazy, terrible place.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so great to hear, and that's actually been a destination that's been on my bucket list for a while. Probably since I've seen Indiana Jones, actually. So tell me a little bit about Petra and your experience there. Like, what was the experience you had there?
Wow, I mean, I could talk the entire podcast about it, but I'll keep it short. It was amazing. Like, this has been the top of my list forever. Daisy and I, we realized we're so close and figured, what the heck, now's the time. Petra was amazing. So we woke up at 5 a.m. The day,
beat the crowds.
Beat the crowds. That's very key. And then you have this like 40-minute walk through this canyon, and it gets really narrow, and the whole time you're thinking like, what the heck is going to be at the other side? Like, of course you see the pictures, but until you see it in person, it's not the same. So we get there at 6 a.m, and we even beat the camels there. There was nobody there. It was amazing. It was just a surreal moment.
Awesome.
And I didn't realize how large the complex was. It blew my mind. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it was really something special. I highly recommend going.
Nice.
Absolutely. You guys have to get over there and get out for yourselves.
So, where do you stay when you visit Petra? You said it was like a 40-minute walk to get there. Is that the closest you can stay?
Yes, we were literally, there was a hotel that was at the entrance of the park. So you have to either walk or you can go ahead and take like a donkey ride. And a lot of the locals are trying to, they're trying to sell you on the donkeys and the horses and whatnot. But, the best way is honestly just to walk. So no, you have to walk. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was nice. Yeah.
It was a very nice walk.
It seems like such a great.
Obsessed with camels.
Oh yeah.
We love them. They're like the most chill animals ever. They're really cool.
Yeah,
It was our first camel experience.
Yeah, and then what else did you guys get up to in Jordan?
well, Jordan has a lot to offer, honestly. I didn't realize just how much there was, but I mean, we got in, we ended up going to the Dead Sea for a day, which was awesome. You just, you float and you do, I even did like an Instagram live video just for fun. Like, this is crazy. I'm like on my back in the middle of this water here.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We ended up, I mean, that's the Holy Land, right? So there's all kinds of things on that side. There's a Jesus' baptism site. Then you go further down. There's all these Crusader castles. And then there's these amazing ruins in the northern part of Jordan. Roman ruins in a town called Jerash. And they were incredible. And we've been to Rome before. These were out of this world. No joke. So, and then, of course, you have Petra. And at the end, you have a place towards the south called Wadi Rum, which is just
it's like a desert landscape. It's like Mars on Earth.
Yeah, that's where they filmed The Martian. So, and that was just we did an overthing there. We did like with the Bedouins. That was just an amazing experience. So Jordan has so much to see.
You guys will love it.
Yeah, plan that trip.
Awesome. That sounds like a great idea. Now, you touched on this a little bit, but it's unfortunate that in a lot of people's minds that the Middle East has become a unstable area. Kind of, you don't know whether or not you should plan a trip there. But you're saying that you guys have recently been to Jordan, and Jordan is a completely okay place to visit, safety-wise and everything like that.
Yes, there was not a moment in Jordan, anywhere that we went, that I felt unsafe, even like as a woman.
Yep.
Traveling the Middle East, wearing my Western clothing, it was such a beautiful place. The people were incredibly friendly, and I felt very safe in Jordan. I felt as safe in Jordan as I do walking around my hometown in Florida.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so great to hear, really. I definitely want to plan a Jordan trip very shortly, and it's awesome to hear you guys had such a positive experience there. So I want to turn this a little bit and talk about what, if you guys have had any, was your most awkward, embarrassing, or hilarious travel experience?
Okay, so this one is maybe a mixture of all of these. And we were in Barcelona a couple of months ago, staying at a hostel in the Gothic quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on the third floor, and I think the entire building had about 6 floors maybe. So imagine like an elevator shaft in the middle, except with no elevator.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, there was like plumbing going down the middle of the building. That's just how they're designed, right? Yeah. So there are 3 rooms, and 1 is a bathroom. So literally, you can hear like everything going on from every single floor at any given time. And then people were coming back after partying or whatever. So there were like those kinds of noises too.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, like it was all, we just started laughing, like,
The most awkward part was like seeing the people out in the common areas the next day and being like,
oh, right.
Good morning. We heard like everything that happened last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely you'll have these interesting experiences when you're traveling for sure. That's great.
Yeah, a lot of stories.
What about your worst travel experience together?
So this is kind of, it has a happy ending, but at the time it was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So we're cat people. We have 2 cats, and while we're on the road, Nenad's parents take care of them for us, which is really nice. And we know that we thought that they would be totally fine.
Gotcha.
So we were actually in the Caribbean in Belize on a scuba diving trip, and we got that call that no pet owner wants to get. One of our cats had been missing for a few days.
Oh no.
And it was just so sad. So this isn't necessarily worst travel experience, but it was like a bad thing to happen when you're on the road.
For sure.
So she was lost, and we actually ended up canceling the rest of our trip and flying home.
Oh no.
To try and find. So this is like the happy ending, but it was like the worst before that.
Yeah.
We get back and we like look for her all night. And it turns out that she had been up a tree for a whole week, and the neighborhood next to his parents, they found her in the tree, and the fire department got called. And
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
we ended up reunited, but the worst is like missing things from home, I think.
For
Because
sure.
like all of the bad, quote unquote, bad experiences we have on the road, we can always kind of get through them and you end up laughing about them later. But missing stuff at home, like, I think that's like the trickiest part about traveling for us.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely missing things from home. And you touched on a great segment there that we're going to transfer it into our relationship discussion here, where you guys will experience different situations on the road, and it all depends on how you get past them together. So, continuing on into our relationship section, how do you feel travel has affected your relationship together?
You broke.
Oh, sorry, guys. It cut out there. I think just after I asked that question. Can we start from that again? Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we didn't hear the question. Can you just repeat that one?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, sorry. How do you feel travel has affected your relationship together?
I think that it has made us a lot closer and stronger.
Definitely.
You go through obviously a lot of positive moments, and also there's some just you see somebody at their best and kind of like at their worst.
For sure.
And when you travel with somebody, those just come in droves. You know, someone might be cranky or something, or like Daisy shouldn't get her coffee in the morning sometimes. So it just kind of it gets more amplified now because you're constantly in a change of flux. You don't have any stability as far as familiarity in this way. So it's taught me, I think, how to be more patient and how to handle these situations better.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Like when you're traveling, you're each other's only constant, and it's easy to kind of like lash out at the other person sometimes if things aren't going, your way, or you're uncomfortable, or you don't feel good, or if you're hangry or whatever.
Right.
So, like, as a couple, we've just really learned to grow so much from these experiences. And of course, the high, happy moments make all of the difficult times so worth it. And we just grow stronger as a couple with every trip.
For sure, yeah. Especially being able to look at it as a big picture and knowing that you guys are traveling and you got all these other positive experiences. The negative experiences just get washed away when you think about it that way. That's awesome. So when planning a trip together, who takes care of what?
Okay, so I'm kind of like a dreamer. I have like all these crazy places and ideas, and I want to go see this and this and that. So usually I put together like a rough idea of what we should do. And then so Nenad will figure out the flights and book those, and then I'll put together like where we are actually going to go in the country, or whatever we're doing. And then Nenad's very organized, so he puts it all in like a big spreadsheet. So he's the organizer, and I'm kind of all over the place, to be honest.
Gotcha. Yeah, awesome. So, and it's always good to have that balance in a relationship, right? Of the dreamer and the organizer.
Yeah.
You definitely really get stuff done together when you're like that. So, what is
right? I mean, I'm a dreamer too, except I keep her in mind sometimes. Like it's not just all fun. We have to kind of take care of other things too. So it's a balance.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's absolutely the case.
For sure. So, what is the best destination that you guys would recommend for couples that you've been to?
Okay, so this could be, well, I mean, it probably is cliche, but there's something to be said about Santorini if you're looking for the romance.
Okay.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was we were there shoulder season though, so that might have helped. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends. It depends what kind of travelers, the people are. I mean, if you're looking to kind of unwind, I mean, I would say Mexico was amazing for me. It's so relaxed. But yeah,
We also went to St. Lucia last year
Right.
for our friend's wedding, and just
that was amazing.
it was so romantic. Those are both like two big honeymoon destinations, and I would say that for good reason.
Yes.
But if you want to have like crazy adventures for, see things that are out of the ordinary, I would definitely recommend going to the Middle East and like going on that adventure together, because there's something really special traveling as a couple and having those eye-opening experiences.
Right.
I would recommend going to Jordan or Egypt even.
Right.
Like the culture shock really, it makes you just so, you're like there together experiencing
Right.
it. It's really beautiful.
Or just anywhere off the path, really, because that way you're both out of your comfort zone. And I think if you can be out of your comfort zone during the trip, then you're going to, have like a life-changing experience. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And especially when you experience that together, both being out of your comfort zone, you really get to play to each other's strengths and learn more about each other in that sense. That's awesome advice. So, closing this section out, do you guys have any more advice for a couple of travelers out there?
Oh, just go. Go and enjoy it, and be patient with each other. And a lot of, what would you say?
I mean, I think if you're a couple and you both like to travel, it's so much easier, I feel, to do that than going solo, because, you have like shared expenses, you have somebody there to comfort you. So yeah, definitely just do it, because I think people always wait for the best time to travel or even to do many things in life. Like, oh, well, I have to wait for the stars to align, then I will do this. But really, like, time just keeps going. So just if there's a place you've always wanted to go, there's nothing like a spontaneous trip. No money will come and go, but I mean, these experiences, they kind of stay with you. So yeah.
Yeah, just take the trip.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. Excellent advice. So, in this last section, we're going to talk a bit about your blog and more about what you guys do to kind of inspire others to really make travel more of a lifestyle. So, can you guys take a minute and just let us know about Working Wayfarers? How did it start, and how has it evolved?
Right. So this was when we were starting to plan our initial trip at the end of 2015. So about was that 3 years, 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that there were a lot of travelers out there, and people were, talking about destinations and writing about them, and rightfully so. I think there is so much to be said about these and the pictures and whatnot, but I kind of wanted to get more into the nitty gritty, the actual lifestyle, because it's not as glamorous as it always appears on social media.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of talk about, okay, people here, nobody's really won the lottery. People are probably working really hard to do this, or they saved up a lot of money, or they took some risks. So I think that kind of needs to be written about. So we're trying to have more of a balance on our blog versus just the destination. So more about, that's where the working part comes from, kind of.
The budgeting,
yes.
Things you can do to fund your travels while you're traveling.
How to make money. I mean, those are all key topics that they're not as sexy as, like we said, here's Santorini, and
Mm-hmm.
we have a blog post about Santorini, of course. Mm-hmm. But, these other real topics I feel like should be kind of addressed, because those are, and that's exactly what you're doing with your podcast too. So I commend you on that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There's work that goes in behind all of this, and in getting to the point where you can travel and make it a lifestyle for sure. So backtracking a little bit, where did the name Working Wayfarers come from?
Well, I was trying. Okay, so we were. For example, one of the cute things we call each other is like bugs. I don't know where that came from, but that's just like a thing. So we could have been like the travel bugs or something like that. But there were a lot of people, that already had these names, that were just individuals. I was thinking more like long term. I kind of want to eventually with this build some community Maybe we can do like, retreats or some other things. So I kind of wanted to be maybe even potentially a forum in the future. So I was kind of thinking about that at the time.
Yep.
I don't know if it was the best decision or not, but it just kind of stuck. So it's really a dichotomy of, it's a balance, like we said earlier. You have to, yes, it's awesome to wayfare and go crazy and to take like a 3-week road trip and, not work a day, which we've done. But then you've got to come back and balance it out and have a really strong 2-3 weeks to, because that's the only way you're going to kind of keep this lifestyle going. And really, it's not just travel. It's about, having freedom in a way. So
work and play.
Work and play. That's kind of where it came from.
Definitely. Yeah, in a balance between the two, for sure. So with you two, and we touched on this a little bit before, are you able to work and remotely with your work? Or do you need to return home for a little bit to work from home? How do you guys go about it?
Okay, so I'm lucky enough to have a job where most of everything that I was doing before we left on our trip, I was doing on a computer.
Yep.
Online emails, website, editing, proofreading, all of that. So when we first started talking about travel, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to do this? I want to still have an income.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, you can do the freelancing thing as well, but it always takes a while to like gain some motion with that, get some clients and get going. So I actually ended up talking to my boss and telling him like, I want to travel, but I still want to keep my job. And I was kind of ready to have to walk away if I had to. But to my like surprise and real like joy, he was like, okay, like let's try it out. I did take a pay cut, which was well worth it, so I can work remotely. But I basically can still keep doing 80% of my job from anywhere in the world. And my company was really cool. They went for it. And it's been that way ever since. And so I log in, I take care of all of my tasks, and then I have the rest of the day to explore whatever crazy place we're in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was an unexpected blessing, really.
Yes.
For sure.
And for me, I was in a different situation. I mean, I was working for an engineering firm, and the job was actually very nice, but I kind of had this idea as well that, we wanted to go travel, and we wanted to go for longer than just like the average 2 weeks. So I ended up going to my office manager at the time, and I told him what I wanted to do. And I said, is there any way that I could be put on some sort of leave? So like I will basically still be employed. I won't get paid and so on. Can I do this for a couple months? And, he asked the management, and really the answer was no, but because I had a good relationship with the company and the employees there, I always knew that I would at least have a chance to get this position back. So that kind of mitigated the risk in my mind. And during the process, I've been freelancing. I've been designing websites. I've been working on some other things, and doing a blog, and just doing the entrepreneurship thing as well. So that's it. It's given me some time. So.
For sure. And that's a really interesting way to go about it for the two of you, is asking your current employer if you can take a leave or if you can do your job remotely. And especially when your job it consists so much of going on the computer and you just need an internet connection basically to do your job. It makes that approach to your boss and ask them to become a remote worker so much easier, definitely. And that's really, I commend you guys for both doing that. That's a really awesome experience. And to open your eyes to more of a world of travel, I just want to talk to you guys about, before you took this down the world trip, how you guys explain on your blog how you guys were doing less or more frequent but smaller trips. When did you guys get to the point where you decided you wanted to make that longer around the world trip?
It was, we went to Europe actually, and I want to say it was 2014, summer 2014, and it was a crazy trip. This was my first time in Western Europe, so we had like 10 days So we did the very typical kind of like American thing. Daisy's got family in London. We flew to London. So it was like 2 days there. Then we took the train to Paris. Then we spent 2, 3 days there. And then we flew to Rome and Venice. It was all these places in a short period of time.
Mhm.
And they left us burned out. So we had a whirlwind. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Wow, this was crazy. I want to experience this more. But I feel like we need more time. So after that, we really kind of started to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the typical American job, you have two weeks off, 2 to 3 weeks off, and you take that time, or I guess a lot of people just don't take the time at all, and it just was never going to be enough for us. So we had to change our lifestyle if we wanted to experience the world and get out there.
Right.
So that's kind of where it started from.
Yeah.
Nice. And then, when did the blog start? Did it start during those less frequent trips, and you guys thought, oh, we need to document this, or did this come after you started the round the world trip?
It sort of started as a way that our parents could kind of check up on us and make sure we were fine,
Right.
and like friends and family really just to check in, and also we take so many photos. It was kind of what we have to share them somewhere. We wanted to share them and have something to look back on, have these memories and how we felt, and it's like a diary that's public somehow.
For sure. And then I definitely see that you guys are fairly active on Instagram, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Because when I look through you guys' Instagram, it's awesome because I see you guys capturing moments. There's lots of Instagrammers who set up their camera and they pose for the camera, which, I mean, there are some posing photos which are great, but for the most part, I see you guys, it looks like you guys are capturing moments, like action shots or moments of you guys together. And it's really nice, a nice way of documenting your travels. Is this something you guys plan on doing with your photos, or is this something that you guys just, it happens this way?
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you like them.
Really, I take the pictures of Daisy because she's just way prettier than I am, right? Of course we do, like the posy shots as well. It's hard not to do them, but yeah, the moments are kind of, it's those. You got to think about photography back in the day when it was analog. You took one shot, and whether you don't know if it was going to be good or bad. Those are the special moments. So I try to incorporate that a bit more. I'm also very lucky. Daisy is is very good at being in front of the camera. So
Right.
That helps out a lot too. But yeah, I mean,
For the most part, we really just have fun with it.
that's it.
We don't spend time posing, and I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl.
Yes.
I'm never gonna have a big suitcase with the pretty dresses in it. So the posy stuff just doesn't work for us. Like, we would rather just have fun and see what we can capture like that. I mean, I love following all those Instagram accounts with like the beautiful girls and they're gorgeous, glamorous. But for us, it was just, we travel light.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
it's more about it than the setup.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air with you guys, and definitely there's those posing shots, but I definitely get the sense of like enjoyment in your travels through your Instagram, and it's really nice.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you.
I just want to talk a bit about any more advice that you want to give couples who are trying to make travel a part of their lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, I think, there's never going to be a perfect time, no matter what people think. Maybe it's people think that you have to have a certain amount of money saved up or wait for the right season. But yeah, if you're trying to do this more long term, you really just have to kind of start, and of course plan and have backup plans and contingencies and so on. But yeah, just
I think finances are the reason that people don't really travel as much as they want to necessarily.
Yes.
It's difficult to get the money or think that you have the stability, the financial security to go and take these extended trips. So I would just say, like, get on the computer, if you don't have any computer skills, like learn something.
Absolutely.
Something that you can sell online, something you can do remotely. If you don't want to do computers, like there's always a way to make money. You just have to look for it.
Yeah, and you have to do the work.
Yeah, you have to put the work in. And so you can't really use that as a barrier for everything.
Right.
Because it will always go. You have to get out there and find a way to make it happen.
Nicely put.
Yeah, definitely. And taking that action, if this is something that you want to do, taking that action to do it, definitely. I just, sorry, I want to backtrack back to your Instagram really quick, because I wanted to ask this question. Owners of 5 passports, whose are they? And what are they?
Oh my gosh. All right, you want to hear this story. So,
okay, well, I have 2.
Okay.
I was born in London.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to the U.S. when I was about 10 or 11.
Okay.
10, 11. So then I actually just got my American citizenship. Like
America, yeah.
I got my U.S. citizenship in 2015, like right before we went on our trip, actually.
Okay.
So I have 2 passports, a British one and a U.S. passport.
Nice.
Yes. So my story is a bit more complicated. So I was born in Serbia, which at the time was actually Yugoslavia. So this is late 80s. Long story short, my parents emigrated from there to South Africa because that was just, that country was just accepting immigrants at the time. And it was great to be there. I was there in the early 90s. Nelson Mandela was becoming president. It was just like a crazy time. So I was there for about 6 years, got my African citizenship there. And then in 1999, my parents moved to the U.S. and I became a U.S. citizen about 5-6 years ago too. So that's just, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah.
I was hoping to hear something about Canada in there, but no, I'm just kidding. So that's awesome, guys. A really great story, and it was great to share this time with you. Now, one last question, going back to the Wander list. On your travel blog, you have a list of things that you want to get accomplished in your life through travel. What is the number one thing that you still have left to cross off this list that you want to do?
Oh, that's tough. Jordan was the top of mine, literally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need to put that on there, but I want to go to space. So yeah,
oh, nice.
Or maybe on that Elon Musk flight. I don't know. That is a goal for sure.
Nice.
I want to go to space. So that takes separately, I think. Number one for me, I think it's got to be one of those overwater bungalows in like Bora Bora.
Ah,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well there you have it. Daisy and Nenad of Working Wayfarers sharing their travel stories with you today on the To the Nations Worldwide Travel Couple Podcast. I want to say a very special thanks to our guests. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out of your day to talk with me.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks.
It was a lot of fun.
That's so fun. Yep.
Where should people check you out, and where's the best way to reach out to you guys?
People can find us on Instagram at Working Wayfarers and our blog too with the same name. And they should definitely come check out the website. We've got a lot of new things in the works. We will be vlogging as much as possible now, so trying to get more just video footage out there, about the destinations and about the lifestyle. So that's kind of really what I'm excited about.
Thank you to all of our listeners out there, to the nations worldwide. We cannot express our appreciation enough for you joining us on this podcast. Visit us at travelcouplepodcast.com/10 for this particular show notes page. You can also join our newsletter there, where we will send you an email every time a new episode of our podcast comes out and what it is about. Leave a comment on the page. We'll be sure to get back to you. And if you'd be so kind, please subscribe and leave us a review to this podcast. It helps us understand how we can help you better and deliver you valuable information about the world of travel. This is Mike Pletz and
Natalie,
hoping you have a wonderful adventure to the nations worldwide.